Welcome again. This is James Durer, your host of the San Antonio Entertainment Show. And I have a veteran of almost 30 years in the radio, Baron Wiley. Baron, thank you for being here.
My honor. Thank you, James, for the invitation.
So tell us about your 30 years first before we get to who you're working for and what you're doing right now.
My first break in radio came, I was a volunteer at a little station in Lytle, Texas.
Okay.
Drove 45 minutes to do my alternative college rock show.
Oh, okay.
And opened up 2 cattle guard gates to get inside. And then, so I did that for 4 years. I got hired at Magic 105 to work with Sonny Melendrez.
Yes.
He was a legend in my mind and a mentor to me and to many others. Worked for a Christian record label for 4 years. And before it moved to Nashville, I got hired at Salem Media Group 17 years ago.
Wow.
And started off as the morning show producer with my friend Sonny Melendrez. Became the operations manager, program director, sales manager, and then ended as the director of sales before I jumped out of the boat.
And what is that, jumping out of the boat?
Well, I had an opportunity to join a national ministry called To His Glory Ministries.
Okay.
And we are in the business of using technology, radio, in the form of an audio player. And we take these little audio Bibles and send them to missionaries in whatever language they need to share the good news. And especially at Christmas time, it's the best gift you can give somebody.
So this is a .org, to his glory ministries.org.
Yeah.
And can people go to that and help in this ministry?
I'm glad you asked. Thank you. Thank you, James. Yeah. If you feel like you need to do something extra special for Christmas this year, know that you're actually planting a church. A one-time gift of $40. And by the way, that $40 covers the cost of this player that has over 80 hours of content on it. It also comes with a message, a salvation message from that missionary in that language. And $40 covers that player, which again is planting a church. People gather around that because they may have a Bible in Spanish. Our first mission field is Chiapas, Mexico, southernmost state in Mexico, right above Guatemala, the most unreached people group in Mexico. So we get to give them this gift. People gather around it. They might have Spanish Bibles, but maybe they can't read it. Mm-hmm. Well, they can hear it. And that's what this vision is all about. Faith comes through hearing. We're spreading the good news. We're starting with Chiapas, Mexico. So if you go to tohisgloryministries.org, just click on the support tab, and a one-time gift of $40 plants a church. And our goal is actually 10,000 players. They've got 5.1 million people in Chiapas, Mexico.
Right.
We're going to we're going to plant 10,000 churches, and we're really excited about that.
So you're focused in Mexico or all over the US?
After we get done with Mexico, guess what? We're going to Suriname, South America next, where these natives are in the rainforest. Mm-hmm. And guess what? There's some great ministries that use radio to share the good news out over that place. But you know what? Living in the rainforest is like living under a bridge. The radio, doesn't reach you, but these little players can.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to go there, and we're going to go to India and China and the rest of the world. So
okay. So tell us more about His Glory Ministries and how they can hear you.
Well, thank you for asking. You're a good host.
You taught me well.
That's right. That's right. We started together, didn't we?
We did.
That's fantastic. I'm very proud of that, by the way, James. I've seen you go from show number 1 to now 2 shows, and I see your
2 different shows.
Correct.
Not just 2 appearances. But.
No, correct. You've grown into 2 different shows, and when I go just arbitrarily looking for stuff, I see you all the time in the media, et cetera, doing great things. So I'm very, very proud of what
you gave me a lot of advice at the beginning, and our great producers and everybody here at 9:30 a.m. The answer is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But you're on when?
So we also have a radio show on the KLUP sister station, AM 630 The Word.
Okay.
We're on every Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. I'm very, very proud of the program in that, boy, our very first show was with Ken Harrison. He's the CEO of Promise Keepers, which is going to have 80,000 men in Cowboy Stadium on July 31st and August 1st. We've had on Tammy Jo Schultz, who was the airline pilot with Southwest Airlines that landed the plane when the engine blew out and avoided a disaster. The Duck Commander from the Duck Commander, Al and Lisa Robertson have been on. We had a comedy show recently with Dennis Swanberg and Jeff Allen, 2 great professional comedians. Fun times. And then one of the shows I'm really, really proud of is that we got to interview Pastor Frank Pomeroy, who was a pastor from Sutherland Springs, where his church got shot up. After we got through interviewing Frank, we interviewed Stephen Williford. He was the guy who was sitting in his house across the street, heard the shots, grabbed a fistful of bullets.
Was that on the same program?
Yes, back to back.
Back to back.
And then get this.
So how does somebody, do you have it on podcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Re-listen to that? How do they get that?
You can hear the podcast at tohisgloryministries.org.
Okay.
And then just click on the podcast and it's good to go. But this is the guy who shot the shooter.
Yeah.
Chased him out, called him out of the place, and of all guys, this guy's an NRA trained certified instructor. Yeah. So he knew the body armor that this guy was wearing. He knew exactly where to place of the 8 bullets he had in his hand, where to it, and ended it.
Right. Because who knows what would happen later? He would have gone to another populated area, another church, whatever. I mean,
that guy was already on his second trip in after he ran out. He ran out to his vehicle, got more, and then went and continued.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. So there's a lot that you don't know about. In fact, while we were doing the interview, the other guy, part of the story is that when he escaped and got in his car to drive off, he rapped on the door of a pickup truck that had a guy in it and said, "Hey, we need to go get that guy." Guy didn't know him from Adam.
And he took off on just...
Got into a stranger's truck and they chased him and finished it.
That was amazing.
Well, while we were interviewing him, the guy that drove the truck called in.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And so we got to have both of them on the air. So it was radio magic.
Yeah. Well, let's talk some more about, and people can listen to that story all over again on your podcast, on the website. What about the Believers Business League? What's that all about?
Well, the Believers Business League is actually something that we started here with the Salem Media Group. It's Christian business owners and leaders gathering together, networking, learning from each other. We always have an expert like you come in and kind of give some coaching and some encouragement. But for the most part, it's a great place where, again, if you are a Christian business owner or leader, or even if you're not a Christian, I don't care. We don't check your card. Right. Come in and meet some wonderful people. We always do it in a different place. We do it in the marketplace.
Okay.
So if you go to the Believers Business League on Facebook, you can find out when the next event is, which is January the 23rd. We're going to do it over here at Jairus General Contractors.
Right.
Great believers in business. They got a great meeting room.
I didn't know that about them. They're a huge construction company.
They're in Dallas and Houston and Austin and San Antonio is the main headquarters. They're building something right across the street from the radio station. They got 2 buildings going up there near the Pearl. I mean, really, they're builders.
Yeah.
They're first class.
I've seen their. I go by the Pearl. I live by the Pearl, and I see the workers every day. They always have all the right safety equipment, and I can tell because I've engineering by training. I'm an Aggie engineer, and before I got into financial services, so I know. I can tell. A quality construction site, and they have quality construction sites whenever I'm going by them.
Kenny Fuller is the president. He's changed the culture of that place. They care more about the people than they do the bottom line.
There you go.
And so that's the kind of people. Thank you very much. So we're going to celebrate that at the next Believers Business League event, January 23rd. Just go to the Believers Business League Facebook page.
Okay, and we got about a minute left. What else can you tell us about?
I want to thank you, James Dewar. You're doing again a great thing, and I want to encourage you to the good news that you share, and that you're a class act, and even though you're an Aggie, right?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And it is. I mean, San Antonio is such a wonderful place to be in. We have the airport right behind us. It's just a great place to live, and people really come together. I mean, I think racially, we're probably the most integrated city in the U.S., I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that we all work together for a common cause, and it's great to be able to share that with the listeners.
Well, I appreciate your generosity to me. Brad Cornell is the official host of the program. He's my partner with To His Glory Ministries, and I'd say thank you again.
Well, thank you for your participation, and look forward to having you on again.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, sir.